Hey, AJT Jungle, welcome to our nightly market prep show. We are looking at, we're either scanning or we're kind of looking for opportunities for the next day and kind of preparing for both sides of the ball. So, we are into earnings. So, our, our alternative scan, we're not going to really rely on that much, but we are into earnings, and tomorrow I will go over my earnings tool with you. No need to do it tonight because we don't have anything coming up. And I just want to quickly go over the stocks that we have on deck. So tomorrow, if you want to get a glimpse of earnings whispers, I'm going to work on that tomorrow, and it's going to be a little bit longer. All right, so 430 was what we were looking at last week on the Qs. It lost it. The next day we were looking for it to lose the 100-day. It did that Friday, and we're right down here to this next channel here between, I'd say, 410 and 412. Let's know, what is this? Yeah, 413. Before 410 and 413. Look, we lose this little area, or we gap down this in the morning. This thing could come in some more. So, that's what we're going to be looking at. And we watch the Qs because this deals with most of the tech stocks. It contains most of the tech stocks that we trade. And so they typically follow that. So let's look at Microsoft. It's reporting its earnings this week, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. But you can see this one came down and it tested the 100-day moving average here. And we're sitting on the top of this channel, or the bottom of this channel right here, right at 397.50, 398. If we lose this, 391, then 384. So we've got some decent windows here on Microsoft if it sells. Now remember, all of these can have a dead cat bounce. Okay, they can do a dead cat bounce. They don't have to sell off tomorrow. But if they do, this is what we're going to be looking at. And I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't like them long, but I would have to look at it in the morning before, in order to determine if I want to trade it to the long side. But looking at the data tonight, I want it short. So here we landed on this pivot Friday, right in through here around 476. If we lose that, look at what we can run into. We've got a pivot here and here, which kind of lines up with this one. But look at the gap. Meta reports earnings this week too. Loving it. There's an opportunity on Meta tomorrow. Like I said, I don't like these long, but I do like them short. If we get that move tomorrow. NVDA looks pretty good too. If we take out, I'd say 745. If we lose 745, I would be, ready to kill this tomorrow. We've got a big window that we could close up. And can this thing move? Look at the ATR on NVIDIA. Now, everybody knows if you're trading NVIDIA, you're going to have to incur the risk. This is reward for risk trading. We don't look at it risk reward. We look at it reward for risk. If we're willing to risk, and I would say back against this here at 795, basically, if it turns around and retests this and fails, you should be good to go. You shouldn't have any issues going down if we get the dead cat bounce. Tomorrow, I would get under 745, and I would use 745 as my guide. All right, but you have to risk a little bit more on NVIDIA in order to reap these huge rewards. that we get. So we look at reward for risk trading. But look at, this is the window right here, all the way down to the 100-day moving average. Okay, Netflix. See the big gap down on Netflix? This was earnings. I only made a couple $100 on it because I got the initial gap, and then when I went to get in to take the rest of it down, it bounced and it kind of traded in a channel and ended up giving back most of what I made on the initial move down, and only ended up with a couple $100 profit on it. So Netflix did not do well, and a lot of people lost money on it, but ended up coming back the next day, trading it on Friday, and we were able to make a big chunk of our money back. But look at the gap here under 537. Look at the gap that it could get into later on in the week. If the market keeps coming in, we got this. Now, I would trade Netflix to the long side tomorrow if we get a bounce off the 100. Okay, this is one that I would trade to the long side if we get the bounce. So we'll look deeper at that in the morning. Again, we look at the options in the room and everything, and we make our final plans in the morning. Doesn't make sense to do it tonight. Tesla, you can see I'm ready to keep riding Tesla down. If Tesla bounces, we've got the 5-day here. We might have enough room to make profit, but if not, I'm still ready to keep riding Tesla down. And Tesla reports this week as well. So last but not least, AMD. You guys love AMD in the room. I don't know. I think 140 might hold this up. So yeah, you probably will have a good move tomorrow if it sells off down to 140. If it bounces, I just don't know. We may get some. You got a pivot here at 150.88. Let's say 151. So we've got a pivot here at 151 that if it does bounce, you're gonna run into some issues here. More than likely, it will slow it down. And then you're gonna run into the 5-day. So we'll look and see where everything shakes out in the morning, but we want to have a good plan of what we're going to be looking at in the morning. And then if we hear anything, it'll ring in our ears, and then we can go to work. So you guys have a great night, and let's get it in the morning.